We start with President Obama's decision not to publish the picture of the late, not great, bin Laden. MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson is boy, are you raring to go? Columnist for the Washington Post, and Joan Walsh is editor-at-large of Salon.com. Since Gene really wants to do this, go ahead.
Well,
why do we have to show, for the Purian out there, the barfly sitting out there who can't wait to sit and look at this thing? Who will gain by a picture of a dead guy?
I would have shown the pictures, gruesome though they may be, and it's not anything to do with the conspiracy theorists who are going to believe what they want to believe anyhow. It's because while this would have inflamed some people, I think it also would have disillusioned and deflated some people. Would have destroyed, finally, the sort of myth of invulnerability that surrounded bin Laden. There's a whole mythology around him that he fought the Russians and he stood tall as the bullets whizzed past him. He was cornered by the Americans at Tora Bora. He disappeared like a ghost.
I believe I've seen pictures of the dead Che Guevara, and I was just on the West Bank or in East Jerusalem a couple weeks ago, and there's a picture of him in stores. Kids still have T-shirts.
Yeah, but
I mean, Che Guevara is more popular on the left and among young people than anybody.
But nobody believes he's still alive.
Well, I thought you were getting serious here. You think that what? A picture of him dead will prove he's dead?
I think there are jihadists and would-be jihadists out there who do buy into this myth that there was something divinely inspired and protected about Osama bin Laden.
Robinson,
I would like to show the evidence.
Pulitzer Prize-winning laureate of our show. This is the first tiff we've had, and I think it's a serious tiff. Joan, I rely on you to take the right side on this, meaning the left side. Your thoughts?
I don't know if it's left or right.
I'm not sure it's left or right. Go ahead.
And I'm aghast to be on a different side from my friend Gene. I'm not sure it's ever happened before either, but I am. I really think that the president made the right decision here for a lot of reasons. One of them is, as you said, Chris, I really do believe that we would be sort of printing up a ready-made protest sign. I think Gene is making an interesting point. Osama bin Laden had an iconic role among his followers. That face is so well known. But that's exactly why I think a photo of him bloodied, they're supposed to be quite gruesome. I don't think it would discourage people. I think it would create a taste for vengeance. Now, there are going to be people who feel that way anyway, but I really think that the iconic imagery of bin Laden bloodied and destroyed by the United States would really be a recruiting tool for our enemies.
What about the one second? What about the videos that are going to be made of this? The videos and the music and the sick stuff and the manipulation of his face and all kinds of kaleidoscopic and hallucinogenic kind of use of this image when it goes viral. Every crazy lunatic in a basement right now who has access to some kind of computerware will play this little game. Well, and there'll be a million people who'll be offended by it every time one of these goes out.
Of course. So the solution is that we withhold. The government has to.
It's not we. The government of the United States did this act. They took this picture. It's in their custody. It's their responsibility to do the right thing with it. It's not a we thing. It's their decision. The government has to make the right decision here. It's not a poll question.
First of all, the default position ought to be release, and then you ought to have a good reason not to release. And I understand. This is the first time Joan and I have disagreed.
Okay, by the way,
but I do think the default position here should have been release unless you have a compelling reason not to. I think the reason not to, which is a good one, not to inflame the crazies, I think it is mitigated, if not canceled, by the destruction, the final destruction of the bin Laden.
We don't put pictures of dead people on the front pages of newspapers for a reason. Let's take a look. President Obama announced the decision in a taped interview with CBS News. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney actually put out the president's remarks. Let's hear.
It is important for us to make sure that very graphic photos of somebody who was shot in the head are not floating around as an incitement to additional violence or as a propaganda tool. That's not who we are. We don't trot out this stuff as trophies.
Well, just to make the point and to find you in the unusual position of agreeing with somebody you're not with. This Sarah Palin. And it's so perfect that she... No,
not fair.
It's so perfect that she tweeted this. This was made for a tweet. Show photo as warning to others seeking America's destruction. No pussyfooting around. No politicking. No drama. It's part of the mission. What's part of the mission? What is this mission that she's on? She wants to keep this war of terrorism going. They love this fight. Let's keep it going. Your thoughts, Joan?
And in what world does she get to tell us it's part of the mission? Is she in the military? Is she a Navy SEAL? Is she, I mean, she quit her job. She quit her official job. She has no day job. And she's defining what the mission is. And pussyfooting? Who's pussyfooting? Navy SEALs pussyfooting? The president? I don't know. But I am not going to tie Gene to Sarah Palin. I just can't do that.
He did it himself. Let's go here. Let's go through the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Shame here from our point of view. Here are the people, and it is an unusual issue. It's a very eclectic group you've joined here. I should say a motley crew. Here it is. The ones who want to release, and everybody should pay attention because you all have your favorites in this, and villains. I won't name them tonight. Leon Panetta, usually my favorite. Saxby Chambliss, no comment. Carl Levin, usually a favorite of mine. Lindsey Graham, yes, too, even though I disagree with him. Sarah Palin, well, we're talking balloon head here. Peter King, he's getting back on the strange side. He wants to release it, but he's going along with the president on not releasing it. Now, here are the guys, I would call these the grown-ups, who don't want to release it. Joan, we're in the grown-up list. Ready?
Oh, good. Finally.
John McCain, Mike Rogers, Harry Reid, Robert Gates, Hillary Clinton, Steny Hoyer, and here's a real grown-up, Dianne Feinstein, John Kerry, and Scott Brown, who probably will get reelected because he keeps doing normal things like this, supporting the president, Boehner and Rubio. Gene, for the defense.
Well, I don't know what to say. You're having associated me with Sarah Palin, but let me make another serious point that I don't think Ms. Palin made, which is that those photos, like it or not, are a historic document. I think this is a historic moment. This is a man who, not for better or worse, for worse, has had more influence over events in this young century than any human being I can think of. His demise, well-deserved, is a historic moment. And I think it's a historic document. I would err on the side.
Okay, you're a great journalist. I think you're looking at this right to know thing. Let's take a list. Lawmakers have also waited. Let's take a look at a collage, a montage, I guess it's called, of opinion here these last few days.
I personally think it's morbid, and I'm not one that's going to be yelling to make the photo public. In my opinion, there's no end served by releasing a picture of someone who has been killed. I don't think that the timing is such that something incendiary is the right thing to do. My initial opinion is that it's not necessary to do so. I think there's ample proof that this was Osama bin Laden. We want to prove to the world we were successful. Release the photos.
Wow, this is a strange one. Here's CIA Director Leon Panetta, what he said yesterday, that the release of the photos was inevitable. Let's watch.
I don't think there was any question that ultimately a photograph would be presented to the public. But the bottom line is that, we got bin Laden, and I think we have to reveal to the rest of the world the fact that we were able to get him and kill him.
What do you think, Joan, about the families? We're going to know a lot more about tomorrow when the president goes up there. We'll be getting a lot of comment on television. This program here, 9/11 families. Do they need to see these pictures?
You know, I would feel differently if people were if they privately wanted to see them. That's the president's call, but I could see a reason for doing that. And honestly, it's not an easy decision for me, and I'm a journalist, so I have a little bit of the right to know. And when Gene talks about history, this is history, but history means that they can come out in due time. Right now, given the fact that we are perceived, rightly or wrongly, as bullies in the Muslim world, I think that the president's comments about not using it as a trophy, not seem to be waving it in people's face like some kind of flag, I think that's the respectful decision to make. I can understand the other side.
We'll be back. I want to talk later in the program about the way in which we got this guy. I don't think we gave him 5 seconds, but as they said in the paper today, if he even nodded, they're going to shoot him. Fair enough. Rules of engagement broad as hell, rough as hell. But I think we made a point of burying him properly according to the religion that he grew up in, out of respect for the people he grew up with and that billion people out there, not for respect him personally, but his background and his people, if you will, broadly defined. I think that was such care taken to bury him with the white shroud and whatever at sea in 24 hours. To do that with such care, and then to put him out in this viral universe, in a form of digital information with that image out there, I think we'll have a different kind of desecration going on. I think we'll pay for it if we do it. Anyway, that's my view, Gene. I have to say I respect you. I don't like your views. Anyway, tonight. Anyway, just kidding. Of course I do. And as a journalist, I can understand the right to report. Anyway, the default position, as we say at the Washington Post, is to release the information. I heard it tonight. Thank you, Gene. And thank you, John Walsh, for being right.